What's up YouTube, it's Decklist TCG here and welcome back to our TCG deck profile video on my channel. We are fully exploring the post-rotation deck profiles and today up on the menu is Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. It's going to be fantastic with Inteleon. We've seen it working out in the pre-rotation format. We are now using the one and only dual sleeves from Dragon Shield. The front is black, the back is yellow, which is something I love because it's the colors of Zapdos. If you're interested in buying dual sleeves, they have them in different colors all around. And yeah, you have Lagoon and more stuff as you can see here. Whatever color suits you, the front will be black, the back will be the color you prefer. Right now, I'm using the one, Dragon Shield Lightning Matte dual sleeves. The best sleeves in town and they are brand new. Be sure to click link in the description if you're interested in buying these products, dragonshield.com. Yeah, without further ado, let's just go into this video while checking out 3 copies of the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. We have seen that this works out and it's going to be only getting better. Metal weakness is not going to be too much of an issue. Zacian is still a problem, but there's no more Luke Metal, there's no ADP decks around, so it's going to be less and less metal in the format. So Ice Rider is going to be loving that. Also, we can slap huge damage for low energy cost. Ride of the High King is able to slap 10 damage plus 30 more for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so it's already going to be significant damage output. Sometimes you can use that so you don't need to discard energies, and Max Lance is the attack we're talking about here. 10 damage plus you can discard up to 2 energies attached to this Pokemon, 120 more for every energy you discarded in this way. So 250 on the second turn is so huge. You always get this out every single time because of the crazy Drizzile engine, and I love the fact that it's going to be super consistent like this. 3 copies, slapping them down right there. Then, of course, we need 4 copies of Ice Rider Calyrex V. This is probably the better one. There's also another Ice Rider. It's a promo one, but the one that slaps 40 damage here is going to be sufficient because sometimes slapping 40 damage means you can get a huge KO later down the line because we're also playing Leon and 250 damage output with, of course, the 40 base damage. So 40, the following turn to 50, that's 290. If you add in the Leon into the mix, you slap 320. So super scary for sure. So super crazy in this deck, so 4 copies of that, and you also can slap a solid 200 damage output. Okay, what else do we see in this list is, of course, the same story. Here we have 2 copies of Inteleon Quick Shooting. You might even add up to 2 copies of Shady Dealings and only 1 copy of the Quick Shooting. But I always love this split combo. 1 of the Shady Dealings, scouting out trainer cards from the deck. You can search whatever you need, the research for turn. You can also get the boss's orders for game. So many things possible with Inteleon. You can get combinations, the Leon, and then another evolution instance to get another Inteleon out. Super great. And then quick shooting, we already got familiar with this attack. 20 damage, of course, and that's going to allow you to actually snipe some damage across the field. Also, if you're up against the Decidueye, this can also be an attacker, by the way. So 70 damage, quick shooting and all that. You have 2 copies. And also this is a Pokemon is also able to attack with Aqua Bullet. So you can go full on one prize mode if you are seeing the Decidueye. So no need for Phoebe just yet. Although Phoebe also works out as a crazy tech against that specific matchup. Moving forward. 4 copies of Drizzile. This is going to be the same thing as the Shady Dealings Inteleon from Sword and Shield, but this actually scouts out only 1 trainer, and it's also searchable with Lovable. So that's what I love about the Drizzile and the Subble engine, just because you can scout out whatever you want. If you're a skillful player, you know what to grab at a specific point in the game. You can set up some key crucial turns with, of course, Drizzile. Then 4 copies of Subble, very, of course, mandatory if you're playing an Inteleon engine. You could also be playing the crazy Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX deck with Chinchino, but this is going to be the preferred way. I like it just so you can get one-hit KOs. 250 damage output, Inteleon Snipe Pings, 1-2, and then Leon on top, poof, you one-hit KO some stuff. Very, very cool. And then a newcomer into this list is Suicune V from Evolving Skies. This is crazy because of the Swift Runner. If it's in the active slot, you can actually draw a card. And you can get it in the active slot with Switch. And we also are running Air Balloon, so you can get use out of drawing 1 card. Might be the crucial card you need to just get back in the game. But not more importantly, it also has the Blizzard Rondo. 20 damage plus 20 more for every bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. So if the opponent has a full bench of 5, you slap 120. If you also have a full bench, you are actually slapping 220 for just 2 energies. And you can use Melanie to set this up. Super nice. I like it in this list. And then 1 copy of Crobat. As we've seen, lots of these lists are going to be running one copy of Crobat. If you're still dead drawing too much, go for a second copy of Crobat, but this list probably will not be able to do that because it runs 4 copies of Path to the Peak, and that's going to be useful to slow down opponents. It's probably the best stadium card if, at post-rotation, there's not a lot of stadium cards to choose from, and I just like it in this specific build. Okay. Then, the supporter of choice in this list is not going to be 4 copies of Research for Marnie, 2 Boss and stuff like that. No, it's going to be 4 copies of Melanie. Melanie is a crazy card. Attach a Water Energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V and then draw 3 cards. It doesn't need to be the bench, so you can accelerate to the active, draw some cards. And there's going to be nice ways to get, of course, these energies in the discard pile. And yeah, I love it in here. So 4 copies of Melanie. Then there's going to be 2 copies of Professor's Research and 2 copies of Marnie to top the Melanie engine off. These are just for the early game, so you can have some consistency and find your subbles. And with Research, you can sometimes find quick balls and level balls, so you can set an army of subbles up. And Marnie can actually have some extra disruption to put the opponent from a huge hand to a lower hand, and that's why they are in here. And 2 copies of that, 2 copies of that. The main supporter, of course, will be Melanie. Another supporter that is going to be very crucial to win games is Bossasaurus, and I love it more. Yeah, look at these cool sleeves, man. You actually need them. The dual sleeves from Dragon Shield. Go check them out in the description below. So yeah, Bossasaurus, what am I saying is that with max lands, let's just state this out. First turn, we have an Ice Rider Calyrex V. We attach an energy to it, slap down a Subble. The opponent's already thinking like, oh no, I hope they don't have an energy in hand and Bossasaurus and the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX or my V Pokemon that I want to evolve is going to get knocked out. And that's why we're running 3 copies. It's going to be very nice and sufficient to just knock out evolving V Pokemon. And then to top it off is 1 copy of Leon. The Leon is in here just so you can get crazy one-hit KOs when the opponent least expects it. For instance, examples that I can think of, you can use the Leon against the Decidueye with your Inteleon. So Inteleon slaps 100 damage with 2 Inteleon pings, that's 140. Little example. Best example is going to be the Max Lance, which is able to slap 250 with Leon, 280 with 2 Inteleon pings, that's going to be 320. Super nice and easy to just get a crazy one-hit KO on stuff like the Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Moving forward, the item cards, 4 copies of Quick Ball. It's the same story over again. So get yourself some Quick Balls, fellas. You will need them. Same for the level balls. If you're playing an Inteleon engine, you need 4 Quick Balls, you need 4 level balls, just because consistency is key in the trading card game. These are going to be able to search out your Subbles, which is your Subbles and your Drizziles. As mentioned in the previous video, level ball means consistency as long as you have a Subble up in play. That means level ball is Drizzile, Drizzile is Melanie, or maybe Drizzile is Research, or anything you might possibly need. Then, the Evolution Incense to search out your Drizziles, your Inteleons, and of course, more importantly, your Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. Then, to find your energies, 2 copies of Capacious Bucket. You might even think about adding in 3 copies of Capacious Bucket, but I find it to be more useful if you have 8 physical water energies instead of 7 physical water energies and 3 Capacious Buckets. So I've tested this a lot, so just trust me on this. This is going to be the preferred way I like it. Then, 1 copy of Switch and 2 copies of Air Balloon. You might even think to add in 3 copies of Air Balloon in general, but the Switch is there when you want to draw with your Suicune. Let's say you have used Max Lance, there's an Air Balloon up onto your Ice Rider. You can use the Air Balloon, retreat into Suicune, draw 1 extra card, and then switch out again to your attacker. So that's why there's 1 copy of that in here. Escape Rope could also be a nice way to go about this. So 2 Air Balloons right over here. And then, yeah, the card that I think post-rotation is going to be busted. Path to the Peak is probably going to be stronger pre-rotation and post-rotation just because of the fact that there's a lot of Dedenne in the pre-rotation format and stuff. Right now, post-rotation, a lot of these decks will, of course, rely on Inteleon engines, Chinchino engines, and yeah, you can not shut them down with Path to the Peak. You can shut, of course, down the Crobat V, you can shut down Eternal Zone of Eternatus VMAX, and more importantly, you can shut down Underworld Door of Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. So, super strong card, and there's also the reason why a lot of these Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX decks are not going to be running the new Pumpkaboo from Evolving Skies. Then, to top it off, we're going to be running 8 water energies. These are going to be sufficient. You might think 8 is not a lot. Not yet. You can search them out with Capacious Bucket. You can get them back with Melanie. That's how it operates, man. And with 4 copies of Melanie, you will not run out of energies anytime soon. So 8 is going to be the perfect number for you. And that pretty much rounds up this next post-rotation deck. And yeah, Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, I think it's probably one of the strongest decks that actually sticks around in the format just because it doesn't lose a lot, to be honest, and it's gonna be very strong. He has access to Path to the Peak to shut down maybe opposing busted VMAX abilities like Rayquaza VMAX, for instance. And you also have ways you can gust up easily with, of course, having Drizzile finding boss disorders. So I like this list a lot. It is very self-explanatory. The only thing you need is an Ice Rider on the second turn, and boom, Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX 250 is super strong, puts up a lot of pressure, and yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys are interested, of course, to help and sponsor the channel, actually help it out, we of course have Dragon Shield. Get, of course, your dual sleeves. The front will be black, which is very beautiful with your playmat, as you can see, and the back will be yellow or whatever color you prefer. They have all the colors that you want, and yeah, this is going to be the one with green, blue, pink, whatever you prefer. Also, go check out our other sponsors, PokedownStore.com. If you're looking for TCGO code cards, just to, of course, get your stuff on TCG online, you can go to PokedownStore.com and use the coupon code ZapDoesTCG for 5% off your complete order. How fantastic is that? If you're a European player, go check out cardsmarket.com, where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day. Very cool to, of course, search for the gold cards I'm still missing. And yeah, last but not least is going to be yourplaymat.com. The playmat I used in this video was made on yourplaymat.com. Click the link in the description right now and get 10% off when creating your own unique custom playmat. They ship worldwide, so what are you waiting for? Anyhow, have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks again for joining. If you enjoy what you see, be sure to destroy the hell out of the like button. Subscribe for more post-rotation deck profiles, and I'll see you guys around in tomorrow's video. I'm out. Peace.